News, now always on.
From Indiana's fastest growing news source, this is live, local, late-breaking 6 News.
Well, you've read the report, and now you might soon be able to view the president's videotaped grand jury testimony in the Monica Lewinsky matter. Good evening. I'm Dionne Willis.
And I'm Clyde Lee. 2 Hoosier House members sit on the committee that could decide tomorrow whether to release the tape. Meantime, the White House sits business as usual. But there are a lot of questions surrounding this tape. For instance, how much of the tape should be released? Maybe all of it. For the latest, we go to Jim Sciutto. He's live in Washington with more. Jim?
It wasn't an easy day for the president, with House members marching down the road towards impeachment hearings, and another state visit for the president, largely overshadowed by the controversy surrounding Mr. Clinton's relationship with Monica Lewinsky.
A lavish state dinner with Czech President Václav Havel appeared to give Mr. and Mrs. Clinton some much appreciated relief from the Lewinsky matter. But earlier at a press conference with the Czech leader, the president's lone relief was that reporters could only ask a total of 6 questions.
You have a moral authority to lead this nation.
Through it all, the president stuck to a common theme.
What I believe the people of the country want is, now that they know what happened, they want to put it behind them, and they want to go on. And they want me to go on and do my job, and that's what I intend to do. That is the right thing to do.
But Mr. Clinton will have to do his job under the shadow of continuing talk of impeachment hearings. Even as Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee urged a cautious approach to the impeachment question.
I think that we have to be very careful not to rush to judge.
Republicans seem to have already made up their minds.
If there's been abuse of office, and if the evidence substantiates that, there's only one thing we can do, and that is move forward with impeachment.
In the meantime, the House Judiciary Committee is debating the release of more of the independent counsel's evidence, including Mr. Clinton's taped testimony before the Lewinsky grand jury.
The House Judiciary Committee is expected to vote tomorrow to release the president's grand jury testimony before the end of the week. Reporting live from Capitol Hill, I'm Jim Sciutto. Now back to you.
Thank you, Jim. If the Judiciary Committee votes to release the president's testimony, television network executives will decide just how much of it you'll get to see. CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News Channel plan to air all of Clinton's testimony unedited just as soon as they get the tape. ABC says the network brass will watch the testimony before they decide. NBC plans to air excerpts, and CBS says the jury is still out on this one.
2 Indiana congressmen will be part of tomorrow's debate in that Judiciary Committee.
Steve Booyer of the 5th District and 7th District Congressman Ed Pease both have a say about whether you will get to see the president's grand jury testimony.
Kevin Doran is here with more on how they might vote on this. Kevin?
Well, Clyde and Dan, those hearings are closed to the public, but both are Republicans. The vote is expected to go down party lines, and Republicans have the majority, so the tape will be released. Now, Pease says he has been very busy, and his constituents have made it very clear about how they feel about the president.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
So you think you've heard a lot about the president's problems recently? Imagine being a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman Ed Pease says he, Indiana Congressman Steve Booyer, and other members of the committee have focused on almost nothing else as they prepare to decide whether the president's videotaped testimony should be released to the public.
Because we're charged with the immediate responsibility of making what must be a fair determination if the country is going to be able to move forward on this. And we...
Pease has been flooded with calls about the president.
Our calls are overwhelmingly against the president, overwhelmingly, from all of our offices in the district and in Washington.
Pease isn't alone. Indiana Senator Dan Coates has received 1,700 calls asking for the president's resignation or impeachment, 100 in support. Does Pease look forward to deciding the president's fate?
Whether you're in Washington or whether you're in western Indiana, there's a great deal of sadness that we're even in this situation. I don't think anybody wants to be in this situation.
Pease isn't the only Hoosier politician talking about the president. During a speech in Iowa today, former Vice President Dan Quayle said he believes a great majority of the American people disapprove of President Clinton. And he added, I hope that someday he'll realize that what's best for the country is for him to go. And Clyde and Dionne, back to the videotape, should be released to the public Friday.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
Well, Nightline will have more on the crisis at the White House immediately after 6 News tonight at 11. Ted Koppel talks to the heavy hitters on the House Judiciary Committee at 11:35. Well, meanwhile, President Clinton will be traveling to the heartland tomorrow. It'll be a pivotal day in his presidency. Clinton will attend a Democratic fundraiser here in Cincinnati at this home. It belongs to an attorney, Stan Chesley. He'll be also speaking at a congressional campaign reception there. 6 News will also be there, so watch for live reports from Cincinnati tomorrow at midday, 5, and 6 News at 6 o'clock.
To other news now, a double shooting rocks a rural White County community and tears at the fabric of a family there. An elderly man is dead, his wife critically hurt. The suspect, the couple's teenage grandson. Sarah Fraden is live near Lafayette, where police are piecing this case together tonight. Sarah?
That's right, Clyde, but there is some good news. Police got the break that they were looking for tonight. You see, when the victims were found shot in the head inside their home, their car was missing. But tonight, police found that car in Lafayette. And inside the car, they found 3 men, including the victim's 17-year-old grandson. Police also found several rifles in the car, rifles which were missing from the victim's home. Right now, evidence technicians are examining the car for fingerprints and clues, and detectives are just beginning to interview the 3 men whom police are calling suspects.
We've still got a long way to go. I suppose that we should have additional information as the night goes on. Will that solve it? We don't know yet.
The 3 men are juveniles, and their parents are here at the state police post. Speculation is that 2 of the men may be released tonight, but that the victim's grandson will most likely be held overnight. As for the victim's 68-year-old Thomas Temple was dead before police arrived at the home, but his wife, Carol Temple, is still fighting for her life tonight. She's in critical condition on life support at St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Lafayette. We're live in Lafayette. I'm Sarah Fraden, 6 News.
Thank you, Sarah.
We have so many news stories on victims. Violence hits home for thousands of Hoosier families every single year.
But now help is on the way for local residents touched by domestic violence. That's one of tonight's other big stories.
I'm Jack Reinhardt. Victims of domestic violence will soon get some help. In exchange for $500,000 in grant money, police have agreed to adopt a policy of mandatory arrest in obvious cases of battery. Police will hire victims' advocates and a prosecutor skilled in stalking cases. Last year, IPD responded to 28,000 incidents of domestic violence.
I'm Vince Robinson at Noblesville High School, where administrators are now considering installing security cameras in and outside the school. They say it's not in response to any major problem here at the school. Instead, it's a proactive way to protect students and school property.
I'm Norman Cox. With winter on the way, the Indiana Department of Transportation has begun inspecting the more than 1,000 trucks that keep our highways clear. INDOT says it will be ready for whatever the winter throws at it, thanks partially to a leftover load of salt that it didn't have to spread last year.
I'm Mary Schwager at the Indianapolis International Airport, where the first Northwest flights left the ground this morning since the pilot strike was settled. The airline isn't out of the woods yet. It's still negotiating contracts with 5 other unions. The Machinist Union rejected a tentative agreement and asked federal mediators to start a 30-day countdown to a strike. In the meantime, the airline is trying to win back customers by offering special deals like triple frequent flyer miles.
Northwest plans to be back at full power by Monday. The 15-day pilot walkout ended Saturday.
Former Alabama Governor George Wallace was remembered today as a man who had the courage to change. Wallace was laid to rest today with full military honors, a jet flyover, and a 21-gun salute. The snarling, fist-shaking segregationists of the 60s preached racial cooperation later in his life. He was buried in a plot with his first wife, who was the mother of his 4 children. And CNN correspondent John Holloman was buried today in Atlanta. He was remembered as a man who loved his job, reporting on NASA and space. The Flying Troop Sky Warriors flew in a missing man formation at the end of the service.
A controversial Hoosier congressional race is in the national spotlight tonight, but it's the kind of exposure 6th District candidate Bobby Kern and state Democrats could do without. Comedy Central's Daily Show will feature Kern in the next couple of weeks. Their visit here comes one day after the prosecutor's office announced they would not file charges against Kern for threatening employees at a Bank One branch. It's just the latest in a string of black eyes for Kern, something that appeals to Comedy Central correspondent A. Whitney Brown.
So they have a cross-dressing convicted felon running as a Democrat in the 6th Congressional District. That is funny.
State Democrats say it's no laughing matter. They're trying to remove the convicted felon from the November ballot because he changed his name from Hidalgo to Kern a day before he declared his candidacy. A judge is expected to rule on that matter by next week. Kern did not return our phone calls for comments.
Hamilton County is in the midst of a building boom.
But some Westfield residents want to put the brakes on a development in their backyard. We'll tell you why coming up on 6 News.
And listen up, the car in your driveway might need some repairs. Put your remote in park for recall information on several popular models of the Honda Accord.
Herbal remedies are flying off those store shelves, but at least one group says they're not necessarily good medicine. We'll tell you why.
And holy cow, $500,000 worth of Cubs tickets lost in the mail. We'll tell you where they hit home.
And for the second straight hour, rain out at the airport. Is there a trend here? We'll check radar. You can see it's fairly isolated. We'll have that forecast into the weekend when we come back.
People living near a proposed shopping center in Westfield say, not in my backyard.
Yeah, the homeowners are upset about plans to turn a quiet, wooded lot into a bustling retail plaza. Galen Bartnick has the story.
And literally, or the proposal is to literally level this wonderful area.
Bruce Doles is talking about a proposal to turn 46 acres on the northeast corner of US 31 and 161st Street in Westfield into a retail shopping center. Doles is the president of the Far Hills Drive Homeowners Association. He and some of his neighbors want to stop the development because they say it's not needed.
Just moments down the street, 17 to 27 seconds that way, is everything that they're proposing to put here. It's just a different name on the business.
This site is expected to be turned into a retail plaza made up of a 62,000 square foot grocery store, a dry cleaners, card shop, hair salon, and movie rental store. The developers, Eaton and Loft, say they plan to enhance the community with the shopping center, but Doles disagrees.
The need to destroy this wonderful area with that really is the essence of Westfield, the Sleepy Hollow atmosphere, for just another unnecessary development is really shameless.
People who are opposed to development in this nearby neighborhood say that they hope to get enough people to rally behind them at a meeting later this month being held by the Westfield Planning Commission. In Westfield, Galen Bartnick, 6 News.
Residents will have a chance to attend the Planning Commission meeting and learn more about the shopping center on September 28th. In the meantime, developers Eaton and Loft tell 6 News they will work with the homeowners to resolve problems, but they plan to go ahead with the shopping center.
Well, problems for one of the most popular cars on the road. It is in need of repairs. Honda is recalling almost 1 million Accords. They want to check a wiring problem that might spark a fire under the hood. The automaker says the air conditioner wiring in many Accords might wear through the insulation and short circuit. The Honda recall covers 1995 through 97 four-cylinder Accord sedans, coupes, and station wagons in LX, EX, and SE versions. Accord V6 and DX models are not on the list, though. There have been no accidents or injuries reported because of this problem. But if your car needs repairs, you can expect a letter in the mail. Honda dealers will fix the problem free of charge.
Herbal remedies, they're everywhere, from store shelves to your medicine cabinet. Alternative medicine is in vogue. But is it safe? The editors of the respected New England Journal of Medicine say many times it is not. And they want herbal treatments put to the same tough test as regular medicines. Right now, the FDA takes a hands-off approach to alternative treatments, but doctors say patient testimonials and speculation should not serve as substitutes for scientific testing. A new drug to treat the symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis is one step closer to approval tonight. The drug called Enbrel has been proven to significantly ease the pain of stiff and swollen joints. More than 2 million Americans are living with rheumatoid arthritis. The FDA should decide whether or not to approve the drug by early November. An important health notice for parents of IPS 6th graders tonight. You have 9 days to have your child vaccinated against measles. September 25th, the deadline for measles booster shots, mandated for all Hoosier 6th graders. After that date, kids who are not vaccinated will be kicked out of the classroom.
A shot in the dark in Providence, Rhode Island, a shot, frankly, by Mother Nature. A television camera captured these electrifying pictures of lightning as it struck the state's Capitol building overnight. The dome structure, though, not damaged in that storm. Well, lightning's striking twice for local art lovers. The artist Wyland will be back in Indy next week to paint another wailing wall. The new mural will be painted on plywood at Robert Frost Elementary School. It will be smaller than this one, which is on downtown's IPS Education Center, recreated about 1 year ago. Weiland spent a week on that mural, and he used 130 gallons of paint.
Now, Kevin Gregory's Storm Team 6 forecast.
Well, as I mentioned just a couple minutes ago, second straight hour, we've had some light rain at Indianapolis International. That continues now, but it's really just that very, very light from Marion County to around Shelbyville, Rushville toward Connorsville, and then on over into Ohio. So most of this just sprinkles, and it is moving to the east. We have our clouds and a few sprinkles or showers around for the rest of the night. Right now, visibility is 3 to 4 miles in most areas, but we could see fog limit visibility to a mile or less in central and southern parts of the state by sunrise tomorrow. Watch over the last 6 hours how this has moved really in central and southern portions of Indiana, and then to the east we've had this little developing area that continues to just sit here and slowly glide to the east. The rain isn't going to pile up. As we mentioned, just 1/100 of an inch so far out at the Weather Service. We've had here just a trace downtown, so you notice a couple drops on the windshield, and that's really about it. Temperatures a little bit cooler to the northwest because skies are starting to clear. Lafayette at 69, 64 as you can see in South Bend. Drier air will filter into northern Indiana tonight and tomorrow. Central and southern parts of the state will hold on to more cloud cover and a slight chance of showers. Temperatures right now actually gone up a couple degrees for Indianapolis in the last couple of hours. Light rain, 73. Winds are east at 3. Humidity, 84%. Pressure rising. We didn't quite make it to 80 degrees today. The clouds kept temperatures down. 67, the official low temperature, up to 1/100 of an inch out at the airport. At least it's measurable, and there are sunrise and sunset times for tomorrow. We've had this ribbon of rain that runs from Texas all the way through southern and central Indiana, then on to the northeast. Off to the northwest, drier air will eventually push in, so that will take this cloud shield and light showers and push it to the south. And so that means for us, more and more sunshine as we head toward the weekend, and warmer temperatures too. High pressure started to nose in, so that will push clouds out of the northern third of the state. We'll still have clouds around in central Indiana, and temperatures tomorrow about the same feel as today, and then not much happening as we head toward the weekend. Temperature tomorrow, 80 degrees. Again, a few sprinkles with the clouds around during the day tomorrow, central and southern parts of the state. Some sunshine to the north. Temperatures there, middle to upper 70s. Almost every September weekend has been warm. This weekend will be no exception, as you'll see in the 5-day. A few showers out there tonight. Some fog arrives early in the morning. 66 will be the low temperature. 5-day forecast will start warming it up and adding some sunshine as we head toward the weekend. Temperatures will be in the middle 80s, both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, mostly sunny. Sunday, a few more clouds around. Maybe a shower late in the day on Sunday, but we'll probably hold that off until Monday as we make the transition back into the middle 70s. So the weekends have been warm and dry, and that looks like it'll continue.
It sure does. Thank you, Kev.
We'll talk about a mail mix-up. A Wisconsin ad agency scored a $500,000 surprise in the morning mail. Look what they did. A box full of playoff and World Series tickets. This box was supposed to be delivered to Wrigley Field and to Cubs season ticket holders in the event that the Cubbies make the playoffs.
Well, they could, too.
They really could, Ed.
Well, that all
Why do you
depends
think
on
you
what
think
happens the last 10 games of the year. And we just won't know that, will we?
I guess
But I guess you said could, not would. Hey, you folks, we got a great show for you tonight. We'll update you on Big Mac and S Square. That would be Sammy Sosa, and the Cubs and Mets in the National League wild card. And also, we have all kinds of other stuff, including Jim Mora addressing the possibility that Peyton Manning might have to go to the bench. No, that wouldn't happen, would it? We'll tell you now.
Some pretty good pitches by
Square. Deon just pointed that out. You're sharp. There's attack. Both guys went into the night with 10 games left in their team seasons. Big Mac and the St. Louis Cardinals hosting Pittsburgh tonight, with McGuire looking to build on his big league leading home run total of 63, one more than S Square, Sammy Sosa. And they've been keeping track of this one for weeks at Busch Stadium. First time up, walk. His all-time record, 155th for a National Leaguer. Strikes out in the third, flies out in the 6th inning. Mac, we need to move along here. Flies out in the 6th inning, and then looked like we might have 64 for a moment in his last appearance at the plate in the 7th. That tape's not going to black. It's merely way up there. Cardinals win 4-zip. Mac 0 for 3 with a walk, stuck on 63. Now to San Diego, where the Cubbies and Sammy Sosa taking on the Pods tonight. And all those Dominican Republicans and Dominican Democrats in attendance. He singles in the 1st inning, a blast off the glove of Ken Caminiti, flies to right in the 3rd, strikes out in the 5th, 2-run double in the 7th. The Cubbies leading now, 2-0 in the 7th inning. But Sosa still has 62. Now to the nightlights, Twins Indians. Manny Ramirez, 3-run jack. He hit 3 straight last night, his 4th in a row over 2 games, tying a big league record, number 41 on the year. Indians lead Minnesota 3-0. He makes it out, then comes up, his 4th dinger, make it his 5th dinger in 6 at-bats over 2 games, ties the big league record held by Matt Williams. That's number 42. Indians wrap up their 4th straight AL Central title, winning 8-6. Watch the catch here by Shannon Stewart, robbing Tony Clark of Detroit. Toronto wins 2-1. Roger Clemens gets his 14th straight victory. Tigers and the White Sox, Albert Bell, ding, number 46. RBI, number 139. Both club records for Bell and the White Sox. Same game. Jeff Abbott, watch this, will rob Jeff King of a home run. White Sox win 9-4. By the way, the Mets win 4-3 in 11. They went into the night. Nice catch, young man. Went into the night a half game back of the Cubs in the NL wild card. Texas beats Anaheim 5-3, so they're tied for the AL West lead. Almost, but not good enough. You got to catch it in order to get your name mentioned on nightlights. Now to football. Heading into Sunday's game with the Jets in New Jersey, the Colts are right where I thought they'd probably be after 2 games, winless and struggling. They are far better days ahead, though, for Peyton Manning and this franchise. But when a team finishes 3-13 and then makes wholesale changes and then decides to pin its hopes on a rookie quarterback from day one, there are bound to be some growing pains, major ones. And you fans have got to realize that and get used to it, because it's going to be this way for a while. Through his first 2 games in this season-long crash course, Peyton has hit on 60% of his throws for 2 touchdowns and ouch, 6 interceptions. But what are you going to do? You're paying this kid a fortune. He is the future of the franchise. Harbaugh's in Baltimore. Justin's in Cincinnati. The only way Peyton's going to improve and learn is by playing. You got to stay with him, right, Coach?
No, I'm not going to go to the bench. I'm going to play him. He's going to learn, and he's going to, unless something just drastic happens where, and I just don't expect it to with him. I think he'll keep bouncing back, and might throw some more interceptions, but I believe he'll just bounce back, and we just got to live through this and keep working and fight through it, and he'll get it going.
That's what I tell myself every night after the show. I just got to work through this. Yeah. One day I'll get it going. This is going to be a big weekend for boxing. Carlos De La Hoya faces Julio Cesar Chavez tomorrow night, and then Saturday night in his hometown of Atlanta. The Real Deal takes on Vaughn Bean in Clyde's afraid of Vaughn Bean in a heavyweight title fight. Evander Holyfield is the holder of the World Boxing Association and the International Boxing Federation World Championship belts. Bean is the owner of some very bizarre hats and the IBF's #1 contender. Why am I reminded of the theme song to Aladdin? This is a defense Holyfield must make. The bout is set for 9 p.m. Indy time at the Georgia Dome. You could use it as a message spike almost, couldn't you? It can be seen live on the Showtime network. 24,000 seats have been sold for the fight. Hopefully at some point, Holyfield, who has never dodged any man, particularly one wearing a bizarre hat, will quit dodging Lennox Lewis and agree to a unification bout with a man who holds the WBA portion of the title. It's the alphabet soup that is the world of boxing.
It is boxing. Now here's Grace Trahan with a look at 6 News Thursday morning.
Got to get one of those.
I'm Grace Trahan. Tomorrow on 6 News This Morning, ways to prevent the most common birth defects. Join me tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. and on the radio at 87.7 FM.
Closed captioning for 6 News provided by the Kendrick Center for Women.
Correction? Yeah, obviously, I'm sorry. I know it's Oscar De La Hoya, not Carlos. I was thinking of a guy I knew in La Jolla named Carlos. It's Oscar De La Hoya.
I can sleep in.
A suburb of San Diego.
6 News Thursday morning is your first look at overnight news, weather, and traffic from 5 to 7 a.m.
Nightline's next. Good night.
Good night, Oscar.
Air superiority for 6 News provided by ATA. 25 years of great destinations, low fares, and priceless memories.